you used to be a city banker.
Yeah.
So what the hell got you started in all this kind of shenanigans?
I've thought about this very much myself, and I hate to say, to be honest, but I'll be honest. Everything else I say is a lie, but I'll be honest on this one occasion. I was earning okay money in London. Okay money in London, you're still poor, but I was just doing okay. Then I lost my job in the recession. So I got really upset because my source of income was taken from me, and so I wanted to find reasons and people to blame and people to be angry at, And so I started watching conspiracy videos about the finance world, about who runs the world, and I went into that and started making. I always wanted to do little videos since I was a kid, and then when you get made redundant, you got nothing to do. It's the perfect time to start doing it, and I met a guy called Danny. Videos went viral straight away, and a friend of mine said, well, you might as well try and do this, full time. And so I did. And 6 years later, I realized, fighting for social justice using absurdism and humor will only make you lots of enemies. And so I quit, and now I just work a normal straight job again.
Yeah, but you still keep the regular. You update your YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just saying, it is a bit ballsy. Walk around with a where is the famous?
It's just in the background. Yeah.
Come on, we need to take a picture. I mean, it's a bit ballsy to walk around, especially a city like Manchester. With a big.
You got lighter on, mate.
I've got on the edge now, but
yeah, it is ballsy. But I'll tell you what helps. Being 220 pounds and 6'5" of pure fucking rage. No regrets, because I'm glad I did it. But I'm not proud of everything I did, because, But I'll tell you what I did get out of it. I met a lot of good people. I met. Nice. We'll edit that one out. Yeah. I met a beautiful girl. We've got 2 beautiful children, and I wouldn't have met her had it not been for the YouTube thing. So there was a big thing that happened that was amazing for me. I got to really lose any fear of people in uniform, which is nice. It's good to decondition yourself, uncondition yourself. And as I say, I went to America, to Amsterdam. I even went to Lancashire to a place called, what's it called? Billington. No, what's the main town called?
Clitheroe.
No, the train station.
Tricky one now. Worley.
Worley. I went to Worley, and that's a highlight of my 6 years. No, but really, I wouldn't recommend what I did to anyone else now. If someone was starting now, I wouldn't recommend that exact path. I think everyone has their own crazy way of doing a specific thing, and it wasn't all smooth sailing. I got arrested a lot. That was a pain in the arse. Survived without going to Guantanamo Bay or anything like that. And I think if I can blow my own trumpet a little bit, I did change the ability for people to do some crazy free speech in the street, because after 2005, this country became very scared of terrorists and terrorism. And anyone with a camera, or anyone with a beard, the megaphone as well, police, they want to throw their balls in your face and say, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't do this. And I like to think that maybe I changed the ability to be crazy. Not crazy, maybe I'm being too harsh on myself, but the ability to express ideas in public. It needed someone or a group of people to go and do it quite hardcore. And we did it hardcore.
I mean, I have to talk about that BBC documentary, or what was it called?
BBC 9/11 Conspiracy Road Trip.
I mean, that was a bit interesting.
Well, what it was, BBC was a front. It was another 3-letter acronym. It was the CIA that took us to America. And I got paid $150,000 to shut up, to slowly wind up the YouTube channel and to make the conspiracy world look bad. See, I have half a beer and I'm admitting everything. Anyway, I'm a triple agent working for the Israelis, who actually we all know, Cut!
That's it, come on, give me more.
We're getting good stuff.
This is good shit. And basically...
Give me more beer.
Have you guys heard of a guy called Alex Jones and David Icke?
Of course, yeah.
I shouldn't admit this, but I've had half a beer now. They're also very highly paid agents of the federal government in America and also the Israeli state. The Mossad motto is, by deception, thou shalt do war. So I mean,
But you were on these shows, weren't you? You were on the Alex Jones.
yeah, many times.
You were actually
yeah.
on that show.
He liked me
He's
until
fucking
I.
mental, that fella, isn't
He's
he?
a complete maniac. Yeah, he's about 300 pounds of pure anger and hamburger.
From
you know?
Texas or somewhere.
Okay, I don't know Alex Jones. I know David Icke, but I don't know Alex.
And you were on Adam Cookish show. Adam, yeah, I mean, he's pretty. I think he's pretty decent though, that fella, isn't he? Or I don't know.
Any man that dresses in a wife beater vest, puts a blazer on, goes outside the White House and starts loading a 12-gauge shotgun with live rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of peace and love he's promoting, but loading a weapon of death outside the White House doesn't give a good image to the movement.
Well, he was just in the area and it happened to be passing
He was
by.
passing by, it's got a shotgun, you know. America's like that, you know, like people are hunting deer, you know, machine guns on the front lawn of the White House. Fucking hell, like.
What about David Icke, the reptilians? Have you seen any around Manchester?
Yeah.
There's loads of them here. Is there?
Fucking hell, like, I'm about 12.5%, an eighth reptilian DNA. David Icke is he's an escaped reptile that he's now turned on his draconian masters. Everything he says is 100% true, man. The Queen's a lizard. In fact, I'm not sure, looking at your eyes, in the right light, you guys have got reptile eyes.
We've been
as well.
drinking a lot.
Okay,
Long
you've been
time
drinking
now,
a lot.
so come on.
All I say is,
I would be surprised.
the more I drink, the more I believe in reptiles. I think there's a correlation there, you know, like it must be true, you know.
But seriously, you did get a lot of abuse after that BBC thing. I mean, that was pretty. I mean, I'm usually a balanced person, but like some of the stuff that was on the YouTube. I'm sometimes a balanced person, but you know, I mean, you could see it with the comments and the trolling. I mean, so I mean, how far did that go? All the negativity. I mean, was it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be a liar if I said it didn't affect me. Of course, it was upsetting. You know, you get involved in this world and everyone loves you and thinks you're the best thing ever. You know, whatever. And then I went to New York with a kind of a scientific, realistic, but also I tried to be a bit open-minded. And I spoke to all the engineers that built the World Trade Center. I saw the blueprints. We met the demolition crews and they explained to us how they would have done it had they blown up the World Trade Center. It's a lot harder than people like Alex Jones and David Icke think. It's not the case. You can't just go into a building with 12 CIA agents, strap up a few bombs, organize a couple of airlines. It's hard, man. So, the hatred you were saying affected me for about 2 years after that. I had a bit of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
So how far did the threats go? I mean, was it just online or did it get really? I mean, like.
Yeah, it's all online. There's nothing in real world. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you do. I mean, some of your videos. Like, I mean, there was one recent, maybe a few weeks ago or something. Like, you were having a verbal on the street with some guy that you spotted. You seen he was a troll or something.
The guy with dreadlocks. Was it Josh? Young Josh?
Oh, it was my fault.
I mean, is that a common thing that people come up to you in the street?
Very rarely. Maybe in the last 5 years, 5 people have said, fuck you, you're a shill, you're a sellout, you're a piece of shit, I hate you, which is secret code for Charlie, I love you, I wish I was like you, but because I can't be you, I'll just hate you.
So it's not that bad then?
It's not that bad. No, but the thing, everything's a learning
We want
process.
a juicy stories, just make up something.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's traditional on these interviews. Usually we have these.
Oh, quite right. Okay, well, I'll tell you what was bad, right, to come back to David Icke, because let's talk about juicy gossip and shit. Anyway, David Icke led I was friendly with him. You know, we'd chatted, you know, we'd written to each other, we'd hung out, we'd done a couple of videos together, you know. And then the whole 9/11 thing, and I was in Times Square, and I was like, guys, I don't think this was entirely, you know, as we think it was, you know. I think, you know, the government tell lies, but I think on this one it was pretty much angry Islamic terrorists that figured out a way to do it, and they did it. David Icke started a massive campaign of hatred on davidicke.com headlines. Evil Charlie, shill, started linking. So I wrote to him, I said, David, I really look up to you. Like, you taught me that infinite love is the only truth, everything is an illusion, that we're all going to be okay. And
fuck off.
I know. So he wrote back to me saying, Charlie, you've really hurt this movement, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I did a piece for the Daily Telegraph by a journalist called Will Storr. And I told all this. I said, look, David Icke, fucking, he's not infinite love. He fucking hated on me. And as a retaliation, David Icke, being a real nice gentleman, he then posted on his website all my private communication with him, which is very ungentlemanly. Luckily, I never said anything There's a guy with a
Tell
cone.
us to keep quiet. We're doing an interview.
Put the cone down. You are being monitored by CCTV. My 4 drunken guys gonna come over there and stick that cone up your. Alright, we're all capitalists here, aren't we? We'll sell it to you now for 100 quid if you guys got 100 quid. Come on, do a whip around, 10 quid each, boys. Buy 3 megaphones.
That's amazing. That's a bit cracking.
We all alright in the editing.
Yeah. Sometimes the best edit. This is leave it all in. Just leave it all in.
It's just you and them. That's it.
And this is Manchester.
Okay,
It's
let's
very
go now.
spontaneous. Very spontaneous.
What was because like we're Irish, so what was Andrew Maxwell like in that trip?
Andrew Maxwell's great.
Yeah.
Like, he's a funny little man. He's a comedian, as you know. He's quite a well-known comedian, and he was in a bad mood for the whole trip because he was hanging out with
guys.
he was hanging out with a bunch of fucking nutter conspiracy theorists. Tell you what, though, he warmed to me a lot more when I was like, Andrew, I'm gonna go revisit my thoughts about this because we met everyone. We met high-level CIA guys. We met the FBI. We went to the pen. Of course I did, mate. That's it. Took the brown envelopes, put it in my Swiss bank account. Which I'll give you guys a cut. Yeah. It's Basel, actually. My bank account is in Basel. And Andrew Maxwell, the final. Thanks to the BBC. I don't know if they had an agenda to. Well, they probably did make all the conspiracy guys look crazy, but I don't think this is like a high-level agenda. I think every filmmaker wants drama, and the drama for them was this very, very prominent conspiracy theory changing his mind in front of the White House. And I'll tell you the moment when I thought this is maybe I'm a bit wrong, David Icke's wrong, Alex Jones is wrong, we've all been taken for a ride, was when we went to a flight school in New Jersey, just outside New York, and they took one of the girls in our group, they took her up into a plane and showed her how easy it is to steer a plane. And a lot of the conspiracies are like, oh, the guy couldn't have possibly done these maneuvers. And he was like a flight instructor. He instructs people how to fly jumbos, 757s, and he goes, guys, it's all nonsense. It's very easy. Anyone with a week's training, because it's all computerized, fly by wire. You turn it that way, the plane turns that way. You turn it this way, the plane turns that way. You gun the engine, it speeds up. It's not rocket science, it's plane science. And that was when I started going,
How did the other people react then when you were? We seen it on the documentary. They were a bit upset with you. You weren't towing the line. Stick with the plan.
Regardless of the facts. Status quo.
My granddad always taught me, never let the facts get in the way of a good argument. But I actually found a video. In fact, I don't know if I've talked about this before. This is an exclusive for you guys. Oh my gosh!
Guys, be quiet.
So it was I found a video from April 2010, and I was in the lawn in Cambridge on Midsummer Common. It's a lovely name, Midsummer Common. I was there. And I was like, shit, I've been watching these videos and this demolition shit, and I'm not sure. I always kept one foot in the grave, in the grave of rationality, and meeting all these people in America that were apparently meant to be involved in the conspiracy, and they're just normal family men, with problems and habits, and then you start thinking, extrapolating on the facts, how hard would it be to pull this off and keep it quiet? And Americans are very Christian, they're very religious people, even more than the Irish, I think. Americans are even more religious than the Irish.
Unbelievably so.
Yeah. And these are all God-fearing Christians, and I can't imagine out of the hundreds of CIA agents that had to do this big thing, that a couple of them wouldn't have a fucking moment of faith or a vision and go, oh my, what have I done? Jesus won't be happy with me. And people will snitch, and because I don't think it was...
It's okay about one group, we stand in, just one go.
Of course you can.
No swearing
Just
though.
pull the trigger and speak into it. Just pull the trigger and
Contractually
speak.
obliged not to swear.
That's it. Now say whatever you want. That's it. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Well, the real fat bastard Lee Jones, please stand up.
There's not a lot of people that, you know, when that happens, I actually spent a lot of time looking at, you know, conspiracy stuff. I was interested in it more from the perspective of that it was a conspiracy of negligence. Where do you stand on that? Because I feel that.
Do you want to hear my latest conspiracy theory? What I think happened? I reckon there's a lot of very ambitious young men in the CIA, young men and women. And yeah, they maybe had a bit of an idea that something was going down because there's warnings and so forth. They had warnings from the Italians and from the Israelis, a bit of chatter online.
That's the job, isn't it, really?
The way the Al-Qaeda did it, they used eBay and messages on eBay that weren't being monitored. They're very clever.
Right.
eBay wasn't monitored.
Okay.
So they sent each other like fake buying signals with codes in it. And I reckon the 20 hijackers were being followed, and the Americans were thinking, we're going to uncover some massive plot here, maybe take us all the way to bin Laden. So I reckon even on the morning of September 11th, they were monitoring them. They knew what was going on, but they thought, let's see where they fly to. And then they pulled off that fucking, you know, and all the Americans, the CIA were like, oh shit, we need to come up with a cover story here now. No, we had no idea. No idea. Fucking. So I reckon they knew a bit, but they'll never admit that they knew because it makes them look really negligent, as you say. And there is a possibility that Al-Qaeda guys were very well trained to keep it all in the hush-hush and got away with it, but Andrew Maxwell, I went to see his comedy show. Let's talk. I saw a documentary recently because, like, there were explosions in the towers. You know, bang, bang. People saying explosions in the basement and so forth. But I saw a great documentary on Channel 5, I think. Fucking hell! That's it. Thor is angry with us. Right before we that's it. They're like,
turn up the wind. Turn up the wind.
Good track, Goldberg. Change the weather over central Manchester right now. That's it. Bring in the HARP technology. Megan.
That's what they're probably doing right now. They're talking about 9/11. Fucking make it right.
We should definitely be doing that.
Show you how much I've sold out. I've joined.
Tory party.
I've joined Waitrose. I now have a My Waitrose card with my name on it. So I'm now reassuringly middle class. You know, Waitrose is the supermarket of John Lewis.
Yeah.
John Lewis is supermarket.
Let's start at the beginning. It's where David Cameron.
For our international viewers, Charlie, you have to explain for our international viewers.
Oh yeah, Waitrose is a posh supermarket for I guess pretentious people.
Yeah.
But
people like me.
But one thing I will admit, Janine, you're still in your 20s. You don't understand yet. You're still luckily very young. So let me patronise you for a second.
Hey, she hasn't made us to
That's it. Are you still in your 20s? Are you 30 yet? You're not 30 yet. No, you don't look 30 yet.
Not yet.
You know, like, you spend years going to supermarkets and, like, everyone's just fucking farting and fucking going nuts around you. Sometimes you just you'll pay an extra 10% just to go to a supermarket and not be stressed out by angry, ragey people, you know? Like,
I'll pay an extra quid to get it delivered to my door.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's it. I'll pay an extra pound to get that delivered to my door.
So,
No interaction with anybody. That's the main thing. Just like ordering
So Charlie,
online.
what did you make of the recent election? It's good to have a strong conservative government in power again. I mean, it's very
quite
reassuring.
fucking right, mate. Quite right, now that I've started working full time again. Quite right.
Ireland breathes a sigh of relief. Thank God they're back in.
As long as there's bloody UKIP and who else? As long as Labour and UKIP are not in power, that's fine.
What way did Manchester vote anyway? Like, what was this?
Labour all the way through and through, man. These people here, even if Labour got caught, all of them raping kids, they'd still vote Labour here because they're like.
Well, that would be one of their main.
Selling. There's a guy called Harry. You may see him one day. It's that guy there. We did a lot of megaphoning, doing false flag UKIP messages in a white van. So we were like, I'll give you an example while you're filming. getting all embarrassed now.
Have you lost your nerve?
I've lost my nerve.
We got the moment where.
Okay, he's gone.
That's it.
Radio out. We got him.
Finish now.
Take him away now.
What have you guys put in my beer? I'm getting fucking dizzy here. What are you going to get me to admit? We went a white van.
What's false flag? Okay.
The false flag is doing something to make it look like your enemy's doing it. And
okay.
I went round. Was I wearing a suit?
Yes.
I was just finished work.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm the UKIP guy. Like, we need a white country for white people.
Okay.
Like, and I said, white is not just for Christmas; it's for all year.
Yeah. Jeez.
And
You're inside the van.
Inside the van, and we're like giving people.
With hoods on.
Yeah, half the people got it. The other half weren't sure. They thought, is that really UKIP? But because UKIP don't have a strong support in Manchester anyway, it was pointless. You know, we have this system here called first past the post. It's not proportional representation. So, but there's benefits of first past the post. People complain, say, "Oh shit!" And like Greenwood only got one MP because of first past the post, but it stopped UKIP having 100 MPs. They got one MP, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Good on the first past the post.
I guess.
It stops the nutter parties getting any power.
Actually, I wanted to ask you. It was my question. We have a couple of questions there. One of my questions was, you know, this law that David Cameron wants to bring in.
Which one?
About that. At the moment, is supposedly freedom of speech. There is more freedom of speech. But there's a law now that's coming in that says if you disagree with government policy, you can also be arrested for it. In other words, in the past, you know, you've been able to say whatever you want, and you know you're more or less protected. But now, if you say things that are against the status quo, that they can use that and say, well, you're against the status quo. So that could potentially be a. You don't think it's an issue?
No, you could not do it.
I speak from frontline experience, dude. The things I've said, I've made videos doing an appeal for weapons.
Yeah.
Send me weapons so I can start a revolution in this country. Okay, it was a bit flippant, and anyone watching it can tell I was joking, but you can say whatever the fuck
but
you
can
want.
say that now, but Cameron's talking about bringing in a law to change
Right.
it.
Here's the reason why.
Would that law work?
No, it won't work. I'll tell you why it won't work. We put, as a nation, Britain, or whatever, the West, put our balls on the line to fight the Nazis. And we put our balls on the line to fight the communists during the Cold War. And we had to really drum it into our populations that we believe in freedom, free speech, freedom of movement, freedom of travel, freedom of religion, freedom of everything. And they can't now. There's still veterans alive from the Cold War, from World War II. There's too much invested in us being the good guys, especially now that Putin's trying to be bad. There's too much invested. And also, let's look at the facts. Powerful people, they want two things. More money, which equals more power. The best way to make more money and more power is to have everything free. Like, look at the West. The reason why the West is 1 trillion times more financially successful than Russia, China, whoever, is because of the freedom. We are free-range slaves. We are slaves who are able to say what we want, live where we want, dress how we want. They're not going to change that, and I'll tell you why. It'll create instability, which could mean that people get beheaded. David Cameron, whoever. When there's angry mobs, shit happens. People die. What David Cameron wants is a level of normality, everyone being able to, because like, look, free speech is fucking meaningless, isn't it? Like, I can go on the Market Street, tell the truth with a megaphone, truth for half an hour. Nobody will give a shit. Do you know why? Because it's not just powerful people that want more money and power. Everyone is a mammal. Everyone has got a mammalian brain. We all want to have peace, happiness, an ability to reproduce and breed. And we need money to do that. We live in a financial system. So all these people are saying David Cameron's going to stop this and stop that. He doesn't give a fuck, man. Like, he's been brought up in this myth of Britain as the warrior, Spitfire, White Cliffs of Dover, fighting the Nazis, standing up for each other. They're not going to fucking start arresting people for speaking out against government. Then they'd have to arrest Channel 4. They'd have to arrest The Guardian. It's all nonsense, man. Like, we all suffer, and I suffered for 6 years from this arrogance. We think that everything's going to go nuts in our generation, man. There's been love and war forever, since cavemen. Love, good, bad. There's always been that. Like, let's look at the last 100 years. World War I, World War II, but World War II led to the UN, it led to the NHS, it led to really people saying, look, we have to believe in freedom. We've got the whole Jewish lobby saying, look, never forget the Holocaust. Seeing as vested interests have so much running on freedom, especially, you know, Hollywood is still pumping out. When you look at Hollywood, it's controlled by very rich, powerful people. And some people say there's agendas and things, but look at Disney. I watch a lot of Disney films because my kids are young, you know, they watch Disney, and the message is all about fulfilling your dreams, being free, standing up against the bullies. So we're even conditioning our kids to believe in freedom. I don't think there's any worry of, you can tell I'm truly an agent now of the establishment, you know.
Yeah, you're mentioning Hollywood, you know, and the Jews.
Are you a Tory voter?
No.